I looked around and it was just like so many parts of my life that I wasn't touching and that I wasn't managing, and I couldn't really manage it because it was so big. Everything was so, massive.
They had it all, like fame, fortune, and fans screaming their names. Then they walked away without a goodbye. Hollywood is built on the idea that once you're in, you never leave, at least not willingly. Yet a few stars stunned the world by turning their backs on the spotlight at the height of their careers. No farewell tours, no teary-eyed final performances, just silence. And the strangest part? They never looked back. Here's are the celebrities who quit acting at their peak and never returned. Number 10, Daniel Day-Lewis. Known for his total immersion into characters, Daniel Day-Lewis didn't just act, he became. His roles in There Will Be Blood, Lincoln, and My Left Foot earned him a record-breaking 3 Best Actor Oscars. He was widely regarded as one of the greatest actors of all time, a once-in-a-generation talent. So when Day-Lewis announced his retirement after Phantom Thread in 2017, fans were stunned. There was no scandal, no burnout. Just a quiet statement that he was done. He hasn't acted since. In typical Day-Lewis fashion, the decision was private and resolute. While many still hope for a surprise return, he seems content staying away. A master leaving the stage on his own terms. Number 9, Greta Garbo. Greta Garbo wasn't just a star, she was the star of 1930s cinema. Her performances in films like Grand Hotel, Queen Christina, and Camille made her one of the most captivating screen presences of the Golden Age. She received 3 Oscar nominations and lived in a world of elegance and mystique. Then, at just 35 years old, Garbo quit acting. Her final film, Two-Faced Woman, released in 1941, was a commercial disappointment. But rather than fight for a comeback, she vanished. Garbo never acted again. She turned down roles, ignored the press, and became one of Hollywood's most famous recluses. Her exit became as iconic as her performances. A true enigma who let the spotlight go dark on her own terms. Number 8, Edward Norton. Edward Norton burst onto the scene with his gripping performance in Primal Fear. 1996, earning an Oscar nomination at just 27. He quickly became one of Hollywood's most respected actors, delivering powerful roles in Fight Club, American History X, and Birdman. Norton was known not only for his talent, but also for his intense dedication to craft. Despite his success, Norton never chased the Hollywood spotlight. Frustrated by the business side of the industry and wary of fame's trappings, he began to pull back from major acting roles in the mid-2000s. Although he hasn't officially retired, Norton's film appearances have become rare and selective, and he seems more focused on directing, producing, and activism. His slow retreat from acting at the height of his powers marks him as a star who chose substance and privacy over relentless stardom. Number 7, Mary Pickford. Mary Pickford was arguably the first true movie superstar, dominating the silent film era with hits like Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm and Pollyanna. She was beloved worldwide and known as America's sweetheart, setting standards for early Hollywood glamour and success. But Pickford's career wasn't just about acting. She was a savvy businesswoman and one of the founders of United Artists Studio. At the height of her fame in the late 1920s, she made a bold move. She retired from acting to focus on producing and managing her studio. Unlike many stars of her time, Pickford wielded unprecedented control over her career, and by stepping back, she paved the way for future actors to do the same. Her retirement was a statement. She wasn't just a face on the screen, she was a force behind it, and while she never returned to acting, her impact on Hollywood is still felt today. Number 6, John Arthur. John Arthur was one of the biggest stars of the 1930s and 40s, known for her distinctive husky voice and charming, relatable characters. She lit up classics like Mr. Smith Goes to Washington and The More the Merrier. Audiences adored her witty, no-nonsense heroines, making her one of the era's top leading ladies. Yet Arthur's relationship with Hollywood was complicated. She disliked the pressures of fame and the studio system's control over her life. After starring in Shane, 1953, one of her most celebrated roles, she abruptly retired from acting. She shunned interviews and public appearances, choosing privacy over spotlight. Unlike many stars who fade with age, Arthur left at her peak, forever remembered for her unforgettable voice and presence rather than a long career. Number 5, Sean Connery. Sean Connery was the original James Bond. Suave, charismatic, and cool under fire. He made the role iconic, setting a standard no other actor could easily match. His career soared with Bond films like Doctor, No and Goldfinger, but Connery's talent extended far beyond the spy genre, with acclaimed roles in The Untouchables and The Hunt for Red October. By the mid-1990s, Connery chose to retire from acting altogether. Unlike others, he didn't disappear overnight. Instead, he gradually reduced his roles and eventually announced his retirement in 2006. He said he was done with the business, wanting to enjoy his private life. For many, his departure marked the end of an era. Connery's retirement showed that even Hollywood legends can walk away satisfied with their legacy. Number 4, Shirley Temple. Shirley Temple was Hollywood's brightest child star of the 1930s, known worldwide for her curly hair, dimples, and infectious smile. She was the box office kingpin during the Great Depression, bringing hope and joy to millions through films like Bright Eyes and Curly Top. But as she grew older, Temple found it difficult to transition into adult roles, and by her early 20s, she stepped away from acting. Unlike many former child stars, she didn't struggle with the industry or fade into obscurity. Instead, she chose a radically different path, a successful career in diplomacy and politics, serving as a U.S. ambassador and public servant. Her decision to quit acting at her peak and never return wasn't about the fame or fortune. It was about forging a meaningful life beyond Hollywood's glare, a choice that few stars dare to make, but one she carried out with grace. Number 3, Phoebe Cates. In the early 1980s, Phoebe Cates was everywhere. Her breakout role in Fast Times at Ridgemont High turned her into a pop culture icon. With stunning looks and a magnetic screen presence, she was the dream girl of a generation. Cates followed it up with hits like Gremlins and Drop Dead Fred, proving she wasn't just a one-hit wonder. But by the mid-90s, she disappeared. The reason? Family. Cates chose to step away from the limelight to raise her children with actor Kevin Kline. Despite fans and studios hoping for a comeback, she stayed away from Hollywood, opening a boutique in New York instead. For someone who could have ruled the 90s and beyond, her total retreat from acting remains a quiet mystery. Number 2, Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz was once the queen of the box office. From The Mask to There's Something About Mary to the Charlie's Angels franchise and Shrek, Diaz proved she could lead comedies, action films, and animated blockbusters with ease. She had both charm and star power, and the kind of bankable fame most actresses only dream of. But in 2014, after starring in Annie, Diaz stepped away from acting. She later revealed that the industry was consuming too much of her life. In her own words, she needed to take back control. She focused on wellness, wrote books, launched a wine brand, and embraced a slower, more private life. Even as directors begged her to return, Diaz stayed firm. Her legacy, untouchable. Her comeback, nowhere in sight. Number 1, Rick Moranis. At number 1 is Rick Moranis, the comedic genius behind Ghostbusters, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and Spaceballs. In the late 80s and early 90s, Moranis was one of Hollywood's most beloved and bankable stars. His brand of humor was clever, quirky, and instantly recognizable. But when his wife died of cancer in 1991, Moranis quietly stepped away from acting to raise his children. He didn't make a spectacle of it. No interviews, no drama, just a father making a choice. For decades, fans begged for his return. Cameo offers, sequels, even Ghostbusters reunions. He turned them all down. Unlike others who vanished for career reasons, Moranis left for love. And while he's voiced a few characters and made a brief commercial appearance in 2020, he has never returned to live-action film. His absence has only deepened the respect for him. A reminder that sometimes real life matters more than fame. So that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next one.